Hello, I am Matt Williamson at Williamson NFL. Give me a follow. Check out the podcast. Do all the likes and subscribes and retweets and do all that stuff for us and myself. That is helpful. Thank you. How is life treating everyone? It's treating me well. Beautiful day here. It's actually light out while I record this at 6:36 p.m. on Tuesday. Not a ton for you today because I think tomorrow at this time we're going to get a lot of clarity. And I should have stressed this more, that these players, usually bigger named guys that are set up for after June 1st cuts, really can't be set up in stone, where they're going. It's up to the team that they're with. Can they negotiate with other teams? I mean, that's just something their team has to grant them. And where I'm going with this, obviously, is Darius Slay with the Eagles, Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. They've obviously both been linked to the Steelers a great deal. And again, as I record this Tuesday night, Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. Darius Slay is an Eagle. Javon Hargrave, who's rumored to go into the Vikings, is a 49er. And at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, the new league year opens, and they will no longer be members of those teams. So really nothing could have gotten done until now, folks. And I don't have any birdies talking in my ear, but I expect when I record tomorrow night that Slay will be a Steeler, and I think Aaron Rodgers will as well. I think that's the best option. I think he's a better football player than Wilson or Fields for that matter. And I've kind of warmed up to it. I understand there's a lot of room for error with Rodgers, and I'll get into it much more if and when that happens. But my hunch is tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening, Aaron Rodgers will be a Steeler, as will Slay, and maybe even a couple other moves. I mean, guys like Cooper Kupp is another one of these. There's a lot of post-June 1st designated free agents to be. I'm not predicting Kupp will be a Steeler, but that wouldn't blow me away either. So I just wanted to get that out there. That tonight, Tuesday in general, is a little bit of the calm before the storm. And the storm really happened yesterday, of course. But the Steelers are far from done, folks. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA to college basketball to the NHL to UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more. For every game, every play, and every win, BetOnline, the game starts here. As mentioned, this is going to be kind of a shorty, not a ton to talk about. I mean, the last couple of days have been busy, to say the least. But I wanted to address this Malik Harrison agreed upon deal. 2 years, $10 million. And I'm sure many of you remember that Landon Roberts and Herbig, the interior lineman, were the two guys I was most intent on bringing back for the Steelers. Well, Roberts isn't coming back, and Harrison is. And I got into a really good discussion with Dale Lawley on the drive today about this, and I saw it the same way. But here's how, I think it's kind of a lesson of how teams look at roster building, especially coaches, especially game days, inactives, things of that nature. And let me tell you first what Malik Harrison is. He's not real fleet of foot. I mean, he's not a speed demon. He ran in the 4.6s coming out of Ohio State. I think he went to Ohio State as an edge rusher, moved to the second level. He's a banger. He's not slow. I mean, that 4.6 is misleading, but he's not fleet of foot. That's for sure. Kind of like Roberts. I mean, he is a between the tackles downhill thumper with pass rush, not just blitz, pass rush. He'll run over running backs as a pass rusher. But here's the key: is in many ways, the linebacker situation is different now, and Harrison really doesn't just swap out as a replacement for Roberts, but he's also killing two birds with one stone, because he replaces Roberts as that interior O-line Ravens thumper. I mean, playing against the Ravens. He comes from the Ravens. That Roberts did, as well as your Matakevich. Harrison has played a lot on special teams. Well over 200 snaps on special teams, which is hard to do. There's not that many special team snaps over the course of a game. Every year he's been in the league. I think he played over 300 this past year. So, when you look at the linebackers, I think all of us want more Peyton Wilson. And I don't think he's now going to be your situational dimebacker type guy. I think Peyton Wilson and Queen will be on the field every snap. And those are your best two guys. And I think Holcomb is the direct replacement for both. Now, if Roberts was in the mix, he would play some too, of course. But I think the need for him has lessened. And Harrison can do that. Again, when you play the Ravens and it's Derrick Henry, you'll maybe see more Harrison out there. But Harrison is a core special teamer. He's a Matakevich-like special teamer. So on game day, remember those times when we were unhappy that Preston Smith didn't get a helmet, or Lowry didn't get a helmet, or Trice, or even Roman Wilson, because they had to have Mark Robinson or Matakevich healthy or active for special team stuff. Because really that wasn't Roberts' game. Well, now Harrison kills two birds and does the Matakevich roster spot on game day, and the big hammer between the tackle can get you out of a game, linebacker, situational, goal line, that type of thing. I prefer Roberts in that role, but Harrison's also younger. And I think Roberts' role was destined to shrink a little bit. I hadn't seen it through that light, but the more Peyton Wilson you want, the more you're going to get less of somebody else. And Holcomb's kind of good at all the above. I mean, as third linebackers go, you're really set there anyway. Another thing about it, special teams wise, Steelers were really good on special teams last year, top to bottom. Boswell was amazing. They blocked kicks and punts, etc. But as the season went on, if you really study their kickoffs, coverage, and returns, it got noticeably worse. They weren't great in the kickoff phase. And this is how coaches and front offices have to think. Now, there's also been a lot of talk that when the competition committee gets together and at the owners' meetings, which I'll be at, that they may even take the kickoff 5 yards further back, which means even way less touchbacks and more kickoff returns and kickoff coverage. So you need a guy like Harrison even more to improve those two phases of special teams and get even more well-rounded on special teams. He's very good at both of those. That's how Danny Smith and, roster building works. So, again, I don't think he's a great defensive player. But the Ravens, you might remember too, after their bye week, their defense made several big changes. Kyle Hamilton went to free safety. Humphrey went into the slot. And when there was a line of demarcation, I forget what week it was 11 or 12, where before that, they allowed so many big plays and had so many issues. And after that, they frankly became one of the best defenses in the league. Well, one of the other changes they made was they got Simpson, who was slated to be Patrick Queen's replacement, out of the lineup, young, run and hit, fast linebacker, and they plugged Harrison in, who again isn't Ray Lewis or Roquan Smith or Patrick Queen for that reason, or run like Simpson even, but he was reliable and he did his job. Where Simpson was running the wrong way and not diagnosing things properly, as often young linebackers do. Now, is Harrison the whole reason that the Ravens defense did a 180? Of course not. But he can play on defense and he's reliable. Does he run well? No. I mean, he's a big, heavy thumper, smash your face. But he can stand up Derrick Henry at the goal line too. That's really all I got. I just wanted to kind of pull back that curtain and just kind of try to get inside the head of an NFL team, namely your Steelers. Oh, and by the way, Kenny Pickett is now a Brown. And as it stands right this second, looks like their best option as a starter today. I can't imagine that they look at him and think, wow, we got all of our quarterback issues solved. I still think there's a very good chance they draft one or Kirk Cousins ends up there. But in case you missed it, the Eagles traded Kenny Pickett basically for a 5th-round pick and Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Browns, and you're going to be seeing more of Kenny. All right, everyone. I think tomorrow there will be a lot of quarterback clarity at a minimum. So I'm hoping. And frankly, I'm hoping it's Aaron Rodgers. All right, take care.